Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Bucco Brew, powered by Fair Coffee and Tea. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have Jim Rosati. What's up, Jim?
Good morning. Good morning. Glad to see that you're upright.
Thank you. Yeah, not doing too well this weekend. I left the winter meetings with a bug.
Okay.
But anywho, we're here.
That's what you're gonna leave it at.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's you must have had a rough weekend, is what it sounds like.
I slept a lot.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, for not being a fun weekend, obviously. Friday, I even talked about a little bit. I had like a bit of a cold or a cough or something, and yeah, just congestion, cough, headache, body's all sore. I slept a lot, and like, you know, the negative of all that, I slept a lot, and that was really nice. It felt good to sleep.
You can always tell if you're not feeling well because you just don't tweet at all. Like you just disappear from the earth when you get sick.
Yeah.
You didn't tweet all weekend, not once.
I mean, I did, but just very rarely.
I guess you tweeted Saturday morning, and that was your last tweet.
Well, Saturday morning, I woke up, I put out the video, did some stuff, and like I said, then the medicine kind of kicked in, and I was out.
Yeah. Well, you're here.
So. But anywho, we're here.
We're here.
You know who else is like kind of sleepy?
I was gonna say you didn't miss much.
No.
In terms of activity. You didn't miss anything. What you did miss was another Pirates target getting off the board.
Yeah. I think maybe Ben also has the bug. Maybe he's been knocked out.
Sleepy Ben?
Yeah.
I love the winter of Ben, Sleepy Ben. It's the hashtags going around are funny.
Yeah. Jim, we had some hopes. Now, I don't know if the hopes really fell on like, oh, you know, Kyle Schwarber is going to be a Pirate. Maybe a little bit. But it was like, all right, I didn't expect the Pirates to even really entertain Kyle Schwarber, have a $125 million contract. So maybe there's some hope out there. I don't know how I feel right now. I don't know. Were we bamboozled? Were we hoodwinked?
It's just what's interesting to me is, you know, earlier in the offseason, Cherington, and I talked about this on Saturday a tiny bit if you like follow our socials, but like earlier in the offseason, he mentioned how he was like, you know, in hindsight, we probably were too conservative the last couple off seasons. And you know, by the time they ended up signing it, like everybody was off the board. There wasn't anything available. And I know there are still quite a few options left out there, and there are ways to make this team better, but it's just like every single time you hear, hey, the Pirates are in on this guy, and that guy goes to another team, like that's just one less opportunity that you've got to be better heading into 2026. And what doesn't give me, you know, the warm and fuzzy feelings is we haven't really seen this general manager execute under pressure or like be able to do these multiple moves that need to happen this offseason to put together a winning team. Like they have to get better in multiple aspects here at multiple positions. And yeah, like Schwarber was a pipe dream. That wasn't happening. Like Jorge Polanco was, I think, a realistic target.
For sure.
You know? And the Pirates, by all accounts, like they went after Jorge Polanco really hard. Now, one thing that they weren't going to do is they weren't going to offer Jorge Polanco over $20 million a year like the Mets did. You know, the Mets have probably had a worse offseason than anybody. Like they've lost their entire team. So like, they had to go out there and do something. And I mean, let's face it, 2 years, $40 million for Jorge Polanco. Like No one was probably beating that. Like, Jorge Polanco's a good ball player, but you have to over $20 million a year for Jorge Polanco might be pushing it. And so, like, and the Mets had to do something, and they did that. But no, it's I said there's still time, there's still players, there's trades out there, but like we're not that far away now. We've got 2 months before pitchers and catchers report. And this team is lacking in several areas still. A lot of teams out there are getting busy. They're signing people. The Pirates did sign Gregory Soto, which addressed a need, but obviously the main thing we need to address here is offense, and that hasn't happened yet.
Right. I'm nervous. If FanDuel were to put out odds on Ben Cherington acquiring a free agent to break the $39 million now, Jim, what do you think they would be at?
Like plus 300. I don't know who out there the Pirates are going to sign for over $39 million. Like Ryan O'Hearn, seems like the most realistic candidate now, and Ryan O'Hearn's not getting $39 million.
So it's just like basically 2 chips fell off the table. Well, I guess 3 if you want to add Naylor, right? So like 3 chips are off the table that the Pirates were in on and talking about. And like one of the things, and the common thing I've been talking about this offseason is the one positive about being so bad. And Ben's addressed this. Ben more or less said this, like his paraphrasing like a quote. But like when you're so bad, every hitter can help you out. Every hitter can improve you. You know what I mean? Like you can go so many different ways to improve this team. So your options are not limited. They're very wide open. But like I'm just getting that feeling that those options are just really narrowing down, even though it's just been 3 guys. But like I don't know, like it would have been nice to have signed one of them. No, we did mention a trade probably is likely first, but the trade hasn't happened either. And it's like the more that doesn't happen, the more free agents maybe look at this team and say, "Are you sure?" And maybe the more look. I mean, let's be real too. If you're a player, are they for real? Like, are you more in line with like Jim Bowden, who's like, this is just all PR stuff? I mean, yeah, like they're being leaked. Like, hey, they offered Kyle Schwarber 4 for $125, highest AAV, of any team. And like, sure. And I believe that's a legit offer and stuff, but like, they're not really willing to go 5 years, which is pretty much known that Kyle Schwarber wanted 5 years. So if they're not really willing to do what's necessary to add guys, like, are they for real? Are they going to get like, if I was Jorge Polanco at this point in time, like, am I trusting Ben in this organization to also add around me? Or am I getting myself stuck here and then wanting a trade come June because like I'm regretting this move? So like nothing's happening. Not like the trade hasn't, like the loud trade hasn't happened. Like nothing is just really happening yet. And yes, like we keep talking about, like it's all talk till it's action. Like we need action. We need something to show us. Gregory Soto was a signing, but like that's not enough to make anyone say, "Oh, well, this team's for real." Now, it's a need. It was good. We liked it in a vacuum, but I don't know. Like you said, like it's funny. Like they recognize how they were conservative, and it still seems like they're conservative. They weren't close on Naylor. They weren't close in Schwarber. I'm not sure. It doesn't sound like the offer was truly made for Polanco. We haven't heard anything come out, right? We know they were close on offering it. We know they wanted him, but I doubt they were close on Polanco either, considering it was 2 for 40. So, like, are they doing what's necessary to secure the bag? Well, the opposite way, to give the bag, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't think they have learned. I think it's still like, okay, we're going to cast the net farther. We're going to cast it higher. Right, we're going to go after guys that cost a little bit more, but we have the same mindset. Well, this guy's in our mind's worth this. Well, that's not getting it done because you have people out there saying, "All right, well then fine. We want you. We're going to give this to you. We're going to ensure that we get you."
We haven't seen that yet. We have seen them do things that they haven't done before. Like they've never offered a contract like they did Schwarber, but like you mentioned, it wasn't enough. And like we knew it wasn't enough. That night when the offer was made, we on Bucco Brew last week in Orlando, we talked about how like, hey, 4 years, over $100 million. We didn't know the exact amount at that point in time. Like that's a real offer, but it's like it's not going to get it done. Like no one thought that was going to get it done. It's like you're gonna have to add a 5th year there, and really in the Pirates' case, you probably needed to add a 6th. Like if you wanted to prize Schwarber from Philadelphia, you probably needed to add a 6th year, and go from there. So yeah, they're not really close yet. Like I said, they're certainly in the famous Jason Mackey quote from a couple years ago, like they do seem to be shopping in a different section of the store, but at this point, they're just looking around. Like
They
they're
just don't know
just
how to act.
yeah,
They've
they're
never
just
been there
hanging
before.
out. Like they're hanging out. Yeah, it's like they walked into Tiffany's and you know they're not even taking anything out of the case. They're not trying to, they're just kind of looking
Mm-mm.
right now.
Mm-mm.
Asking how much stuff costs.
Right.
And
They're coming out, handing them the drink. Ben's like, should I touch this? I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Don't mind me. Don't worry about me. They're nervous. They're nervous. I've never been here before. I don't want to touch the jewelry. Oh, I can't do that. What if I break something? I can't pay for it. No, I'm good. They're nervous. They never shopped here before. They don't know how to act. They don't know what to do.
yeah, that's the best way of putting it. They're window shopping, but it's like they're serious about shopping, but yeah, like they're just looking around. They're
Right.
looking around, and then the real buyers are coming in and swooping in and buying the stuff that they're looking at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just put it on the black card. You guys have my ID. You guys have
Yeah,
information. Just run it. Not
that's the
Ben.
Phillies. That's the Phillies for sure.
Right. Yep. Anywho, let's tell you all about the Fair Coffee and Tea as well. The Fair is a family and employee-owned operated business. They believe that coffee and tea are one of life's simplest and most accessible pleasures, and when enjoyed thoughtfully, can open your eyes to the here and now. They have 5 locations across the city of Pittsburgh, including their flagship in the heart of Pittsburgh's historic Strip District. Don't forget to stop by the Fair's new location downtown on Penn Avenue, right across from the Benedum. Grab a cup and fuel up on your walk to PNC Park. Mobile ordering is available. Check out their Instagram for more details. Of course, that is defair.coffee. And as you see below here, Jim, tell them how they get that 30%.
Yeah, go to defair.coffee, use promo code NS930 when you're checking out, and you'll get 30% off your entire order. So whether it's a $20 order or whether it's a $200 order, 30% off. The more you get, the more you save. Christmas time coming up. Yeah, now's the time to utilize that code if you haven't. Everybody loves coffee, tea. Go out there and grab some DeFair for the holidays.
Does the Fair carry third baseman?
Jared Triolo, maybe.
Okay. These are on the team, so can't get the 30% off.
No, he's already there.
Sorry, Ben. I'm trying to look out for you, buddy. I'm trying to find ways. Maybe I can help you, and then in turn you can help me. But no, we'll just go through this another pathetic offseason and have another 76-win team because that's good enough. All right.
So speaking of third baseman, I do want to. I mean, we'll pivot here. We've talked about Polanco a little bit, and we can talk a little bit about that more if we need to. But something needs to happen this week with Munetaka Murakami. There is that. His deadline to sign is next Monday, December 22nd at 5 p.m. The Pirates have been one of several teams, quote unquote, interested in Murakami. He does. I guess what's interesting here is, if you're looking for the power, he's got that, like tons of power. There's clearly some flaws in his game, but like, yeah, I mean, looking at the numbers being floated around, if they were willing to offer what they were for Schwarber, it does seem like Murakami may be in their territory here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It'd be great to make some sort of splash in free agency, because then you don't really have to give up any sort of your prospect capital. Like, it's just money. And Murakami does have to make a decision, in a week. So we'll know in another week or so if he's a Pirate, or if they miss out on another bat that plays a position of need. And I guess in the majors, Murakami's most likely a first baseman, or maybe a DH. I don't know if you can plug him at third base. If you could, that would be great. But I think I don't know. I don't know about that. Okamoto's another one. His signing period doesn't end until I think he's a little bit later.
It's like a few days though.
Yeah, I think Okamoto might be like the beginning of January though. Yeah, January 4th. So a little bit more time for Okamoto. But yeah, those are two interesting names, because like Okamoto, I don't know if the ceiling is quite there, but he does seem to have a higher floor. And again, certainly in the Pirates price range, if they were dropping that kind of money with Schwarber. We had Dan on, and the projection system seemed to like both of them. Okamoto, I think he had projected like OPS plus above 110. Murakami's was certainly a little bit higher, and then with the power. But I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you think the Pirates are like going to be serious players in either of these two guys?
I don't know. I mean, if I say yes, they're just not going to, and I look stupid and dumb. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm pleading the fifth on everything. I can't. I don't believe in you. But no, for real, I don't know, because also too, like, at least with the Schwarber, you were hearing a lot of smoke with him, and that led up to that, and with Polanco as well to some degree, and I just haven't heard anything. Like nothing since like the beginning, when like the posting opened more or less. Like, oh, the Pirates are one of the teams that are interested. At first I think it was like what 20 some teams had scouts there looking at him or whatever, or, Pirates were one of them. And then it led up into like the offseason when he's posted that, the Pirates are one of like maybe what 8 teams or something like that that are interested in him, looking into him. That's all I've heard. The Pirates are doing a wonderful job looking at people and just hanging around, but it doesn't mean they're doing much. And even when they do, like a Schwarber or Polanco or Naylor, they don't really do enough. So I don't know, because, and again, there's still some time left. It's not like you've heard a whole lot from other teams either, right? Like, I'm not trying to pinpoint the Pirates as if they're the only team. Like, it's just been radio silent more or less across the board for everybody. But like, I'm just not hearing anything. It does make sense, like, if they liked the profile of Schwarber, to go that route, and maybe you're getting pennies on the dollar in the case of Schwarber, someone who's younger. I doubt he's going to be as good, but maybe he's close, and that's the mindset too. And you're getting, good value in return for him as well. But I don't know. Like, I just can't honestly answer that. I don't want to put my name attached to anything on this. I think you've heard my point of view. It's risky. I don't know if the Pirates are like, I don't know if it's worth it for them to go for the risk here. But now at this point in time, just like, well, I mean, the options are just dwindling away. They got to do something. Maybe it's worth the risk in a sense. I also want to, I'm talking a lot this way because I'm nervous that they haven't changed their mindset. I'm nervous that they're not going to be able to do what's needed. There's still plenty of options. Like, it's not doomsday as if like it's Murakami or bust at this point in time. Again, there's still an Ahern out there. There's still Steven Kwanzaa. There's still trade, like plenty of trades to go out there with and such. It's not doomsday, technically speaking, at this point in time, if they're willing to do what's needed to get it done. That's the point I'm nervous about right now. But I think this could be a good pivot in missing out on Schwarber.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick here. Murakami, Zips projects 237 average, 363 OBP, 454 slugging. So they're projecting him to go over 800 OPS, 26 homers, 126 weighted runs created plus. So like, it's saying that Yeah, that translates pretty well. Okamoto, 252 average, 340 OBP, 451 slugging. So you're looking at high 700s OPS, 117 weighted runs created plus, and 20 home runs for Okamoto. So, I mean, either of those two bats, you plug them into this lineup last year, and those are the best hitters on the team. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd Murakami is certainly more interesting because he's younger and has more power. Okamoto, I feel like, can probably play third base a little bit better. So if that's a position you're looking to address, he's a good plug in there, and he can hit. He can hit enough. Uh, yeah, I mean, if I'm the Pirates, I'm definitely kicking the tires on both of these guys, and like at this point, I'm probably signing one of them. Like you got to do something. And this is a point I was thinking about last night. Is it's becoming quite clear to me that if the Pirates want a major league free agent to sign with them, they need to grossly overpay. Grossly overpay. Because who wants to come here? The perception around the league and the Players Association is terrible. It's awful. No one wants to come here. No matter what they're saying or doing, like players, this is a last resort for players. Now, money talks. Like players are going to go to the team that gives them the most money the majority of the time. But again, in free agency, when you're bidding against other teams, you usually have to like the winning team is usually over, quote unquote overpaying anyways. It's not really an overpay if that's what a team's willing to pay. Like that's market value at that point. But you do seem to see that hitters, especially and pitchers, like they just get more money in free agency than you would expect. The Pirates just don't seem like they're in a position to do that.
Yeah.
So the difference with like maybe these guys, Okamoto, Murakami, is, I mean, I know it's not like baseball doesn't exist over there. Like Major League Baseball is definitely a thing. But I'm curious on if like the perception of the Pittsburgh Pirates,
Mm,
like internationally, isn't as bad as it is here. You know, like
that's
here, you're
interesting.
kind of ingrained in it. Like the players are all around each other. So, like, if you're a free agent, you're very well aware that the Pirates just suck, right? And it's not a good place to be. Whereas I don't, I mean, I wonder if from an international standpoint, like that just means less to them
Yeah.
because their dream is, hey, I'm going to play Major League Baseball, and they're just going to go to the place that offers them the best deal, right? Whereas with someone like Kyle Schwarber, if the Pirates turned around and offered him 5 years, 155 million, right? Let's say they offered 5 million more than the Phillies, like Schwarber's still not going to Pittsburgh, right? But like, would Murakami or Okamoto go to Pittsburgh for 5 million more dollars?
Hmm.
I don't know. I think that's a question I was thinking about last night. Was maybe like there's no spot where they've been for a while that they'd prefer to go to. Like kind of everyone's on an even playing field here. So I wonder if your just chances of signing one of these two guys are just higher.
Yeah. That is interesting. I guess I never thought about that. 'Cause, like, I don't know what the perception is over there. I mean, obviously, you can see numbers, and the Pirates haven't been good, but what does that mean to them? Is it just because, oh, they're not good, but like, hey, they're feeding me all this information in this proposal, right? This contract, this is what they want to do. This is how I'm part of the plan, and whatever. And I can see the vision. They want to be good. Hey, there is Paul Skenes. I know who Paul Skenes is. So, like, this makes sense. They've been bad, of course, and they want to be good and like be part of that. It's not like, oh, well, I don't trust that. So like maybe there's part of that. I don't know. But I just want to go back to like on the money part. And I don't know how much more the Pirates have to overpay per se and whatnot, right? It's a good example. We're talking about Schwarber's probably not taking 155. But like what I also want to like put out there and like people kind of maybe understand too. It's not just always like chasing the money per se, right? Now, of course, guys certainly will, but like think about the polar bear. I think is a good example. There's something about also getting the most money of like showing your value. You know, like how much a team wants you. Like think about that. Like again, like Kyle Schwarber, you could say chase the money and he played the Pirates. But did the Pirates show him that they were like, that was, you're our guy. We want you. We're not going to let you get away. Here's for 125. You know what I mean? Like, again, think about that whole process. You know, the Phillies clearly showed they wanted me. They value me. They want me. They said, here's your 150. Let's get it done, Kyle. We want you back, buddy. We love you. You know, there's more. I mean, there's more to the money than just the money. And that also shows how much you're valued, how much you're wanted in that process. You know, again, like if a company's coming out to you and saying, like, listen, we want to take you away from this company. We want you. We'll double your salary. Like that, you know what I mean? Like that tells me, like, man, these guys really want me. They really love me. There's something there that they see in me. They want me part of this. You know, it's not just like, oh, I get to double my salary. Like that, yeah, it's a nice perk for me, but also that shows me kind of love in some sense, you know? And where's the love when you're like, I mean, listen, Kyle, we're not close. We're nowhere close. It's just a hope and a prayer. We would like to have you. That'd be awesome. You know, but a team's coming out saying, like, listen, we love you. We're not going to let you let us know what they're going to give you. We'll make sure it's more because we want you. That's love in a financial way. And again, the Pirates aren't showing that. Like, you know, I mean, they're just trying to ensure that they can get by, like, you know, hey, we really want to do something cool and you be part of it. And like, that is something that people make me part of. But at the same time, like, maybe show me the money. So, getting back to like what you're saying here, the Japanese players, I mean, you might be able to get away. Like, think about this, like with Schwarber, like you're mentioning about overpaying, like the 5 for 150, you might have to go 5 for 170, 5 for 160, or have a 6th-year, right? That's a lot more dollars. With these guys, the dollars are smaller. Maybe the percentage is, of course, the same, but you might not have to overpay as much, like per se, you know? So, like, if you're willing to risk $30 million a year on Schwarber, are you maybe now willing to give an extra $20 million for that extra year? The risk is still certainly there, you know, but maybe it's just a less dollar. Like you can maybe, this is tough to even say, but maybe you can swallow $20 million better than 30 million. You know what I mean? To ensure you're getting this guy. So I don't know.
Yeah. Just a thought that I had. Luckily, we do have a commenter who is in Panama. So, you know, not Japan, but Panama. And, you know, he does say, it's bad. Perception's bad. Lives in Panama. Everyone makes fun of me for keep rooting for the Pirates, even with the history of this country connected to the team with Moreno, Sanguillen, Stinnett, etc. So there goes my my hypothesis.
We're so sorry for you.
Sorry for being made fun of in Panama.
Maybe it's just maybe that hasn't reached over to Asia yet.
Maybe just say that, like, if you're wearing the Pirates hat, just say I'm wearing the P. You know, I will say that the Pirates,
P for
Manny
Panama.
Sanguillen. I think Manny Sanguillen is probably the best baseball player from Panama ever, or at least he's like up there. The Pirates have had a pretty good connection to that country, so you would think that their perception wouldn't be as bad, but yeah, apparently it is.
Well,
there you go.
Overpay it is.
Hypothesis warded. Let's shift to, I mean, do you want to shift to the trade market a little bit?
Yeah.
That's where it seems like this team's best chances are of adding a bat, because the player doesn't have any say in that, unless you're Ketel Marte and you're on a limited no trade clause. But for the most part, you know, if a team agrees to trade you, you've got to go there. So, I mean, Brandon Lau is kind of the hot name right now. Brandon Lau would tons of power. Again, like things that you lack, Brandon Lau has The position flexibility of Lau is a little concerning because it's like, he's first and foremost a second baseman. Could he play outfield? He hasn't done it in 3 years, but could he do that? Is he primarily a DH at this point in his career? I think he's a second baseman first and foremost. But then what you're doing is you're upgrading really a position that could use upgraded, but it still doesn't address left field. It still doesn't address third base. DH is still kind of a black hole right now, unless you want to just bring Kutch back again. I don't know what they're going to do, but Brandon Lau strikes me as someone who you could get for a package where you'd look at it and you'd say, man, like, it sucks that I had to give up that guy, but Lau gives you a whole lot that you like. I don't think you need to give up like any of your top talent for Brandon Lau, but you'd probably need to give up, 2 top 20 prospects in your organization.
Right.
And like, that's, you can do that. You can afford to do that. And Tampa Bay, probably has guys who they specifically want from the Pirates, and they're going to try to get them. So we'll see how that goes. I agree with Jay Gen here, like Antoine Kelly, Wilbur Dotel as like a headliner in that trade. I think that's probably like fair. Maybe you could get away with sending, 1 or 2 of your like really low level guys who are super far away. That Tampa Bay likes. We'll see, but I do feel like that's a guy who you got to land. Like, if he's out there available, you got to land this guy somehow.
And the Pirates have been linked. And like, what's kind of ironic is it doesn't sound like too many teams are. So I don't know if that's good for the Pirates. Maybe this is the guy, but I'll say this, like, if you were to choose trading for Brandon Lau or signing Polanco for 2 for $40, which would you take?
I would take Brandon Lau over Polanco.
So I want to throw that in there because
as a player, now the thing is with trading someone, you got to give something up. When you're signing somebody, all you got to give up is money. So if it's between trading for if it's between trading for Lau and signing Polanco for over $20 million a year, probably trading for Lau. If you could have gotten Polanco for like 13, 14 million, maybe you go that route. I think Lau has a little bit more to offer you than Polanco does. So I think he's the better. I think he's the better player. But Lau also comes with injury concerns, whereas Polanco typically at least stays on the field for you.
Lately. But yeah. And I agree. So that's all I want to actually say that in this part here too. Is they missed out on Polanco, but also like you could look at that and say, well, you know what? Because I agree. If Polanco is going to be 2 for $40, I'm just going to trade for Brandon Lau. Now, the thing is you have to get that done too, right? You have to get that part done. But I'm in the mindset of that also. I wanted Polanco. I liked Polanco. I thought he was a good fit here for different needs. I mean, I would have taken both. We've talked about that to some level as well. But with him going for 2 for 40, I think the move could have been and logically been, all right, let's pivot to now trading for Brandon Lau because he's going to cost less. You're fine with giving up prospects. And that's the thing about like guys like this. That's what I talk about with, guys with 1-year deals. Like, I think the Pirates should make at least one trade for a guy like a Brandon Lau because, again, we're talking about the prospect package. Like, it's not going to cost a whole lot of capital to get him. And if you are as good as you think you are and as good as you're showing you are also, as far as like developing pitching prospects, Antoine Kelly, Wilbur Dotel, like great dudes, good players, good prospects, but you should be able to create more of those. If that's what you're good at, then the next Antoine Kelly should be here next year, the year after. So that's why you make trades like this. That's why you have a farm system so you can trade from it and such, right? So like, it's not going to be good. It's not going to feel good losing an Antoine Kelly, But at the end of the day, you should be able to have another Antoine Kelly coming through your system. Who are you developing, right? Who's next? And then after next year, like, all right, well, it was fine. Like, they got something they needed. You certainly did as well at the major league level to help you win today. So I'm perfectly fine with getting Brandon Lau. Now, he is bad at second base. Like, I'll give you that. But again, as we talk about Nick Gonzalez, I know some people challenge us here and question, like, are you watching the same Nick Gonzalez? He didn't have a good year either. Now, it was better than Brandon Lau, but it's not as if the second base defense last year was anything good for the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I will still take a loss in defense for the upgrade you're getting, the definitive upgrade you're getting on offense.
Absolutely. I think Gonzalo's defense last year was kind of fluky. I don't think he's that bad either. Like, the range
The
range seems to make you think he's better than that, because the errors that he made last year weren't from like lack of skill or ability. It was just he just missed a lot of balls, which is something that can be corrected relatively easily, and something that he hasn't really done throughout his career. So, like, I have confidence.
I don't know. I heard someone had to get moved off a position for those type of things.
I have confidence that Nick Gonzalez can play second base at the major league level fairly well. But he's just got to field routine grounders a little bit better. That was his problem last year, and I think that's a problem that can be fixed. But no, I'm with you 100%. Lau adds a ton to this offense, adds power. I said it's an unexpiring deal, so it's a 1 year. It's just 1 year you're committing to him. You shouldn't have to give up a whole lot for him. Like, $11.5 million isn't a lot of money, but it is something that, eats away at his surplus value, where teams are, you're getting value there, but it's not as much as, say, like a Ketel Marte, where you're getting him and he's got a ton of value because of his contract. So I'm with you there. Another name that popped up too yesterday, Luis Robert, who has been a polarizing character for sure over the last couple seasons. I'm curious here because I've always been a huge Luis Robert fan personally. Luis Robert once, like, almost single-handedly won me a fantasy baseball championship back in 2023. Like, the dude was insane. But since then, since 2023, like, back-to-back pretty bad seasons. The speed's still there. Like, you can still see everything, but he's striking out. Like, the batting average has dipped into the 220s the last two seasons. The power hasn't quite been there. Like, with as many tools as this guy possesses, he's only hit more than 15 homers in his career once.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a lot of that just has to do with the dude can't stay on the field.
Right.
Like, also 6 seasons in Major League Baseball, and he's played over 110 games one time.
Right.
I think what interests me with Robert is the contract being at $20 million a year. I'm kind of surprised the White Sox. This is what I'm surprised at. I feel like if you pick up that option, it's because you intend to keep him. And you're hoping that he performs this season, and then you can maybe flip him for something at the deadline. Or maybe this next offseason when he's got one more club option, he's like kind of rebuilt his value back. Because this is my hesitation to think that Luis Robert is going anywhere right now. The dude has zero value. Like, no trade value right now.
Right.
If you're the White Sox and you're wanting to trade Luis Robert Jr., like, good luck getting anything for him with that contract. Unless you're paying the majority of it. Then you could maybe get something, but you're still not getting anything great. Like I said, the last 2 seasons hasn't been outstanding for him. So that report came out yesterday, and, like, he's always kind of been dangled around. Like, the White Sox have been a really bad team for a few years now. So it's like, it's kind of like how we're used to at the Pirates. Like when you're bad, your good players are going to be involved in trade talks. That's just how it works. And so Robert's been involved in these for a while now, and they've kept him, and they've kept him to the point now where like he has no value. So I would be surprised to see the White Sox trade Robert, because if you're the Pirates and you want Luis Robert, you can basically just take him at this point. Like you give anything of value whatsoever to the White Sox, and if they're actually intent on trading him, like they take it.
Yeah.
The dude's worth nothing right now.
I mean, we've entertained this. We talked about last year about go after him, go get him. I still truly feel this is a thing. Now, I'm not saying like this is the only thing that's wrong with Robert, right? But I truly feel too like getting a guy out of Chicago might be able to help. The caveat of that is, well, you're getting him out of Chicago to put him in Pittsburgh. So that might not be the key destination to make you turn your career back around, right? But Chicago is kind of a hellhole for a lot of guys. And, maybe there's part of that. Maybe it's getting that. Like he is to me, a target of like a guy who a change of scenery could really help out. Again, don't know if Pittsburgh's that change that's going to help out. But I do feel getting him out of there could help him turn things around. There's still like a lot of things to like you mentioned the speed, like the actual speed, like his foot sprint speed, right? His bat speed as well. Like the athleticism still appears to be there. Defensively, he was back last year as well. Really good, solid defensive year. The speed was there. Like all the athleticism seemed to be there. His second healthiest year, as you mentioned, of his career. He played 110 games. And he had a better second half.
Shorter second half too.
It's still a risk. It's still a risk, and again, like if you're looking to get risky here, I guess he's somebody, because the thing about him is he could be what he has been the past few years, which is not a good baseball player. Now he provides value defensively, at least when he's on the field. But offensively, it's been Nick Gonzalez. Actually, like it's been Nick Gonzalez the past few years. That's not going to get it done. The thing is, if it does click, he's your best hitter.
By a lot.
Yeah. Now, what's the trade going to look like? You know what I mean? Like, I know it's not going to, like you mentioned, like cost a lot, but it's still $20 million. If you're going to spend that much money, wouldn't you just go get Jorge Polanco? You know what I mean? So how much are they eating it down to get to where you're comfortable? Because you still need more pieces. And I'm not going to, if there's $30 million right now, right, and $7 million has gone to Gregory Soto, am I investing everything on Luis Robert at this point in time, more or less? Like the most part of my pie? I don't know if I really am. So it would come down to like how much are they really paying this thing down to? And Mobby might be willing to give a better prospect to do that. Makes more sense. But it's a lot of risk, I think, right now for what they have on the table. Again, I guess that's where I'm at. Like if you're willing to trade for Luis Robert, go get Polanco.
Go get Polanco, or go get Murakami, or go get Okamoto.
Yeah.
I could see that. I guess with Robert, what's interesting is like you could play him in left, I guess, if you wanted to, or you could put him in center and then move Cruz to left. I don't know if you want to necessarily move Cruz again, but
I know
like that.
But
Robert
he plays it.
Yeah, I've always loved Luis Robert, and
I get it. I do too.
It would be fun to have him because the upside potential is real. It's just the injury aspect, and I think when you're looking at players that can make this team better, you're gonna have to look at some guys where like there's always gonna be like one reason that makes you hesitant on them. And you're just going to have to kind of hope that it all comes together. Like everyone out there is flawed that's available to the Pirates. They're flawed in some extent.
Right.
The only ones that aren't are like Kyle Tucker really isn't flawed by any means. Cody Bellinger's not flawed at this point in his career. Like there's some guys that you can like really bank on, but the Pirates are pretty much in on everybody who's got some sort of flaw, and you're like, yeah, this is the one thing that could keep them from being good. You look at like Suarez, same thing there. Like he's getting older. His defense has been really, really bad the last couple of years, but he hits a bunch of homers. So yeah, I said Robert strikes me as interesting. I find it hard to believe the White Sox are actually serious about trading this guy, because I don't think they would have picked up his option otherwise. I think they're going to they picked up his option. They're going to hope that he bounces back, and then they can trade him once his value's, a little bit higher, maybe at the deadline or midseason. But I would be shocked to see a Luis Robert trade this offseason.
I agree with you. I do. But I mean, maybe. They're taking the risk. They got to get drop them. They didn't just not pick it up. I mean, maybe they feel there's something there also, which helps. But then again, it's the Chicago White Sox, so who knows what the hell they're doing.
Well, they want to get something out of him, right? And I think the way you get something out of him,
you would hope. But then again, are you paying $20? Are you paying $20 million to hope and a prayer that you get anything for this guy? Or are you like, were you just willing to let's just cut bait, just take that $20 million and get an actual guy?
Well, I don't think the White Sox are too concerned with getting anybody right now.
Well, they could be concerned about not paying $20 million then too.
Yeah.
So again, I'm saying that's maybe hopeful. Like they think there's.
Well, the White Sox have to pay somebody, or they're going to have like a $30 million payroll. So the White Sox payroll is bare bones right now,
right?
Even with Robert.
Anywho, yeah, I mean, again, I would welcome Luis Robert. I think money would have to be considered. Cash considerations would have to be involved. Welcome, Mr. Considerations. But again, at that price point, I'm just more of, let's go somewhere else. Like this is almost like, in case of emergency, break Luis Robert. Is that fair?
Yeah, you want him to not be broken, though.
True. Very true. He already is broken. All right.
Fix Luis Robert.
So what's next?
That's about it. It's I said one more week remaining on Murakami. I think that's probably the main storyline this coming week is where is he going to go? I am curious to see what that deal looks like, where he ends up. And again, if you're the Pirates, that's just another chance that you have to make a splash and show people that you're serious. So far, it's been all talk. It's been all talk so far. And yeah, the Schwarber offer was something, but the Schwarber offer, I'm not going to say like Jim Bowden was saying it was like laughable. Like it was a real offer. The Schwarber camp didn't think it was laughable. But it still clearly wasn't enough. And everyone knew it wasn't enough when they made it. So at some point they've got to do something that's enough for someone to say, yes, I'm coming to Pittsburgh, because right now they haven't done it yet. They haven't done it yet. So like, you want to be taken seriously this offseason, like you gotta do something. You gotta do something that makes you worth being taken seriously. And so far we haven't seen it. It's just been the same stuff. The talk is different this offseason. The sentiment is different this offseason. I think the Pirates want to try this offseason, but like you said before, like I don't know if they know how to try
properly.
It's they've not tried for so long that this is all new to them. And so far they haven't been able to get anything done. They made one trade for a guy who probably isn't even on the major league roster come opening day. And if he does play at some point this year, he's likely just like a piece. He's maybe a contributing piece to that. But like they need dudes right now, and they haven't gotten any.
I agree. I'm giving Ben Cherington an assignment. Now, I do know the Ross Park Mall has a Louis Vuitton. I don't know if I'm seeing Tiffany's. But, yep, Tiffany's there as well. My task for you, Ben, 'tis the holiday season. Go to the Ross Park Mall. Go inside Louis Vuitton. Go inside Tiffany's. Shop around. Understand and learn. Watch. Take notes. How do people act? How does a purchase happen? And then buy something there. All right? Get your wife a bag or some jewelry. And then leave and understand that feeling and knowing how to be of those who have money. And then go out there and get your guy. All right? So go buy your wife something nice, Ben. And then buy us something nice. That's all.
Dude, Ben's going to TJ Maxx.
No, Ben, stay away from TJ Maxx. Now, listen, everyday low prices. I get it. I understand. As a TJ Maxxer myself, I get it and I understand. But you can't risk getting the shirt that says Nike and it's missing the I, right? Go to Tiffany's, go to TJ Maxx. I'm sorry, go to Tiffany's, go to Louis Vuitton. Stay away from TJ Maxx. Go there. Buy something nice. And then buy us something nice. All right, Ben? All right, let's get out of here.
Let's do it.
All right. Like and subscribe. Please, after that. Please, we beg of you. But no, we'll be back this week. It's kind of like our same routine. And it's not live. Will be on Wednesday. The Point returns on Friday. And of course, if we have an emergency podcast to break, we'll do that. Hopefully there is one. But yeah, like, subscribe, join our Patreon, become a member if you want for 99 cents on YouTube. All good stuff going on. But we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucs.